Okay, so now we continue Be'ezrat Hashem, Perek Zayin, Pasuk Tet. So now we finished the great presentation and acknowledgement of who Am Yisrael is according to the Gaon, or all the possibilities the neshama has by staying in the body, right? Now we're going to hear the answer of Am Yisrael, right? Until now, it's what the Goyim tell Am Yisrael and about what they've accomplished throughout history. The pasuk says, "Amarti e'ale betamar." I say, let me go up on the tree, on the palm tree, the tamar, which is very high. I will hold on to its branches. And your breast should be like eshkol, like a grape of raisins, and the smell of your breath should be like the apple tree. It's like the apple tree. So the goyim, so now the mehilat. Amarti e'ele betamar is the goyim answering to what Am Yisrael say. Ma tehezu bashulamit. What are you looking in me, right? What do you see in me? So according to the Gaon Mivina, the goyim are saying, Kevan she'anu ro'im gedulater. Now we're recognizing your greatness. And we've enumerated from the feet all the way up to the head, your greatness. Okay? We see it, we understand it. Anu hoshkim v'chavesim la'alot b'tamar. We want to follow your path. Tzaddik katama, right? We know that the tzaddik is compared to the tamar. We also, let me also elevate myself and grow with the tamar. I will go up. And maybe I will not eat from its fruits. But at least let me hold on to its branches. So says the Gaon, is let me benefit from the Bet HaMikdash, from your branches, from the influence of the actual tree. The tree is the service inside the Bet HaMikdash. The influence of the Bet HaMikdash, of the service, are the branches. Says the Gaon, if I cannot be part of the Bet HaMikdash, if I cannot be part of the Kedusha, at least let me benefit from the aura of the Kedusha, of the Avodah. That's what the Goyim will be saying. V'shadayich, ve'yihyuna shadayich ke'eshkelot ha'kefet. Let your breast be like grape of raisins. Yeah. Says the Gaon, here we're talking, what do you do? What does the breast do? Like we said, the breast brings out milk. So what does a grape of raisins do? Brings out wine. You press it and it takes out the wine. He said, if I cannot eat the fruit, then at least let me enjoy its wine. What does that mean? It means that if I cannot have the sweetness of the actual Torah, and I don't feel satisfied by the Torah itself, then at least give me a little bit of taste that will appease. Yeah, what does the wine do? The wine affects the brain, and and suddenly the truth comes out, right? So the Goyim are saying, right, if I cannot have the sweetness of the fruit, then at least let the influence of your wine impact my essence, and let all the fake beliefs that I had throughout history disappear, and let the sod, the core essence of what I'm really here for, come out. In this Gaon, there's a very striking message, yeah, that the avodat hagoyim is an avodah that be'etzem is sheker, right? In core essence, they should know what their purpose is. In reality, the life or the circumstances of history made it that they lost that there, right? And it's because they lost the true purpose, the direction of their true purpose, that they see threat and hate in Am Yisrael. Because of the fact they lost the focus of their true purpose. At the end of time, says the Gaon, they will have clarity, but they are stuck in their ways. So they're going to say, okay, if I cannot have the sweetness of the fruit, then at least give me the influence of the wine, so that I can let the true essence come out and refine my purpose and follow the true purpose of my creation. We see the layers of the sheker surrounding the surrounding the avodah of the goyim, and what it will take to bring them back to the emet. The influence of the wine. What is the wine? The wine is the sod. Meaning it's only through the revelation of the Torah Sod. It's only through the revelation of the Pnimiut Torah, the secrets of the Torah, the essence of the Torah, that the Goyim will be able to find their own path, the true path, at the end of time. That's it's an indication of how the Geula will happen. It says, "Ve'reach hapech katapuchim." Says the Gaon, the breath of your mouth smells like the apple tree. He says, we know, we said in Perek Bet, Pasuk Gimel, Ketapuach ba'atzayah ken dodi ben abanim, right? Ketapuach ba'atzayah ken dodi ben abanim. Huh? He says the apple tree has two ma'alot. An apple tree, you benefit from the shadow, the shade, from the shade of the tree, okay? But you also benefit from its fruit itself, right? Because it's like, once again, he says, if I cannot benefit from the fruit, then let it be at least an ohel for us, a shadow, a shade of protection. Okay. It seems like the according to the Gaon, the Goyim understand that the core essence of the fruit אין להם. They don't get, right? What do they get? They get the smell, they get the shade, they get the influence of the wine, right? The byproduct. נשתה גם אנחנו מיינך, אחר שתאכל אתה עיקר הפרק. He says, where do we see the reach haper katapukim? Where's the reach? He says the Kohanim. The Kohanim, they bring the ketoret. The ketoret gives a smell, right? That smell appeases the anger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Goyim say, let us benefit from that. Let us benefit from that. So there is a disconnect from the core essence of the benefits Am Yisrael get and its influence to the Goyim. And now the Gaon comes and says, let's not forget that what we say, we wanted to follow, right? We wanted to follow the Goyim. What the Goyim said, what made you so great is that you didn't fall for our behaviors. You didn't fall for our drachim, right? Mashma what? That if you do, what do you choose? You choose the smell over the fruit. By behaving like them, you choose the smell over the fruit. You choose the influence of the wine over the grape. You choose the smell of the apple tree over the actual fruit of the apple tree. So what is the failure behind this in this behavior? So now he dives in. He says something beautiful. He says in Yeshaya, the pasuk says, "Veyorenu midracha v'nelcha beorchotav." Show us the path, and we will go in your way, in your footsteps. He says the mitzvot, the avodat Hashem has two dimensions. One dimension is called derech. You do mitzvot, the actual accomplishment of the mitzvot, right? You do the mitzvah, and then there is the kavanah of the mitzvah. You have the action and the kavanah of the action. The action is called derech. Every time you have the word derech, it means it's referring to the action of the mitzvah. Why? It says, Shekol Yisrael dorchim bahem. We walk on it. We walk on the mitzvot. We walk on the mitzvot. We step on the mitzvot. What does it mean we step on the mitzvot? Or we crush them, or we find stability on it. When you walk on something, it's because it's stable. Okay? You don't put your foot on something that's not stable. But you can also choose to put your foot to crush something, right? Rashi said, brings the Chachamim. What is Ekev Tishme'un? Ekev Tishme'un is the mitzvot that we hit with our heel. Okay? So, derech, the path, can mean dorer, can mean to crush. Right? Because there's two ways of behaving with your actions. One is with the mitzvot. One is to stand on it, so you can stand up. That's what gives you the stability to stand straight and be able to be seen and walk and differentiate yourself from the animals. As we know, like the Gaon says, the animals are walking on four, right? And kfufim, and man is standing. There's no koma zekufa, right? It's straight. It's straight. What makes you straight? The fact that you can stand on your 2 feet. But you can only stand on your 2 feet if there is something strong that you can stand on. That is called the mitzvot. The mitzvot. However, some people dorchim. They don't. They don't stand. They crush the mitzvah, meaning they disregard it. So that's mitzvot. That's called derech. And then you have the kavanah that is called orah. Orah is a way of life. Orah Haim, right? Orah Haim, the way of life. A behavior. Says the Gaon, very, very few people tap into the kavanot of the action. Very few people actually dive into the understanding, into the depth of the action. So the Goyim, what do they say? Show us the mitzvot. Show us the action. Let us do the action. Okay, give us the outside layers, the benefits of the Torah. Well, the actions, and we'll do the actions. We'll do the actions. Cannot do every action, but we'll do. The reach, the influence. Yeah, we'll take the lightweight of the action. Aval, we let us also enjoy the influence of the wine. What the smell does, we know the smell goes to the machshava. We spoke about the secret of the smell and what the smell does, right? That the smell is the machshava. So the goyim they say, when it comes, we understand kavanah, we understand it. We want the sword, we want the reach, we want the smell, we want the machshava, right? And in the action that we will do it with the proper kavanah and the proper machshava. Says the Gaon. The issue is that they don't understand. They think they understand the kavanah, and they think they understand the machshava, but in essence, they didn't understand anything, because the kavanot, they go very deep, right? And the machshava the machshava goes very deep. But mechoser, from the lack of their understanding, they think they understand. From the lack of understanding, they think they understand. So here, the Gaon brings forward the mistake that defines the Torah of the Goyim, of the approach of the Torah of the Goyim, or the behavior that we emulate when we want to be like the Goyim. Is that we want to take a little bit of superficial actions with our arrogant mind, thinking that we understand the kavanot and we understand the Torah, and that satisfies us, satisfies the Goyim. Now the Goyim, they say that because it's the end of time and they finally realize, okay, the emet. On our end, we let go of Torah emet, we let go of depth in Yirat Shamayim, in Avodat Hashem, to emulate Maaseh Goyim, the action of the Goyim. And because we emulate them, so we hold on to what they see of the Torah. We see the perspective of the Torah through their eyes, which is what? So give me a little bit of actions and the kavanah that I have. It's great kavanot already. That's the sword. That's the sword. Says the Gaon Vilna, this is the trade. This is the mistake that we fall into, and the behavior we fall into when we want to emulate the avodah of the Goyim. The Malbim says the following. Amarti e'ele betamar. I said, let me go up, yeah, the tree and hold on to the branches. Et amez le'akev et hanefesh bal tipared min hagviya. He says, we spoke about it in the last year a little bit. This is the last moment where the body rejuvenates itself before leaving this world, before the neshama leaves this world, because the neshama reconnects. The neshama will reconnect one more time. Or hazab besantzinav, and we hold on to the branches. What does that mean? I hold on to the branches. The neshama says, I go and I hold on to the chitzoniut of the body. I hold on to the outside layer of the body, just enough to give it an electric shock and bring it back to strength, which is very, very common. Before a person leaves this world, he has his body gets stronger again. But it's not getting stronger because be'emet the neshama goes back in. It's stronger just because the neshama holding on to the outer layer of the body.
It's like when they kill the chicken. And then it's still going.
It's still going. Yes, those nerves. Yeah. Yes. Ve'yuna shadayich ke'eshkelot hagefen. But now the body, the neshama said, I'm asking you, okay, I'm going to come and I'm going to go hold on to it to see if I can help. Yeah, I hold on to it, right? It says, Evakesh, that the ta'avot and the kas that we spoke about, the two roots of averot, right? Which is the ta'ava, the desire, and the kas. They have to be full like a grape of raisins that can make wine. It says they have to be mitorer only the Dvar Hashem, to mitzvot, Torah, chukim u'masim tovim. But the body cannot do that. Meaning that the neshama is willing to try one last time at one condition. If the nefesh of the person, the ta'ava, the desire of the person, and the midot of the person are fully aligned with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the mitzvot. And your sechel, which is the sechel ha'iyuni, the analytical mind, yehu domim ketapuchim, will only see chokhmah, will only see wisdom. The analytics will not fall for anything else. According to the Malbim, it's quite dramatic when you think about it. You have still the neshama that's willing to try one last time. The neshama tries one last time to reconnect with the body based on what the body is promising and charm, how it charmed the neshama. The body cannot give to the neshama what the neshama wants. I mean, the body has its flaws, and that's what we're learning. The body has its flaws. And although it promises, I'll be good. You know what? I'll never do that again. It reminds me of we go in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu every Rosh Hashanah. I will never do it again. It's like, no, that's it. I want to be perfect. Now come back. Come be with me. Give me, do to me, influence me. And the Neshama says, okay. But under those circumstances, זה לא הולך. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says in the Gemara that the person should not say, I don't desire eating basar b'halab. I don't desire. What we learned yesterday. I don't desire wearing shadness. I don't desire having intimate relationship with a woman that is asura. I don't desire it. No, it's not true, because these are natural. These are instincts that are natural. Okay, but the Torah said it's asur. There's no logical reason why it's asur.
And that's why we do it.
And that's what we do. And I say, I want to, but Hashem said no. What do we see? We see that there are natural tendencies that we have to be aware of. Yeah. That we cannot lie to ourselves and say, no, this I don't have. No, I have. But it's only by recognizing that I overcome those tendencies. Because it's not what Hashem wants. Because Hashem said no. That I actually have now I live in emet. I live in peace. Because the worst is when you lie to yourself, believing you don't have a certain ta'ava, a certain desire, and then the Yetzer Hara comes and just makes a fool out of you. But if you recognize it, so you're in touch with your Yetzer Hara, and now you're mekadesh your Yetzer Hara. You say that it's tameh, and I'm taking you and I'm making you tahor by doing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, right? So you have an active will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu ruling over your Yetzer Hara. That's what we see here from the Malbi. Lo meshane ma. The Neshama says, okay, you want? Okay, show me. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. At the end, we're not going to be able to. And that's why, and one more pasuk. V'chikech ke'en hatov. Your mouth is like the best wine. Olech ledodi lemei sharim, dovev siftet yeshenim. The Gaon here builds up again on the Gadlut of Am Yisrael. Your mouth is like the best wine. The Gaon explains. He says, what's your mouth? Yeah. Again, now we jumping to the chech of Am Yisrael. What is your chech? What is your mouth? The Gaon says these are the Talmidei Chachamim, the tzaddikim. we need to introduce the soda yain. We spoke about the yain in the past, no?
Yeah.
About what the yain represents.
I think so.
So, yeah. Okay. The Torah has two bhina, has two dimensions. The Torah has the obligation that's in it, right? The Torah tells you what you have to do, what you shouldn't be doing, and it has the gilui, the revelation of of clarity in a world that is so complex and so confused. So there's two aspects. There's the aspect of the responsibility of the obligation, and then there is the aspect of the clarity that it brings. Two things. The yayin also has two aspects to it. When you drink yayin, the Chachamim tells us masbiya. It satisfies a person, makes a person full. When you drink good wine, it makes you full. But it also opens your mind, right? It makes you, it enlightens your mind. Those two concepts, and as well as nichnas yayin, yotzei sod, right? Listen, nichnas yayin, when the yayin comes, the wine comes in, and the secret comes out. What does that mean? That wine has two aspects that are opposites. One that nichnas yayin goes in, and the opposite is go out. Right? It satisfies, makes you full, so you would feel saturated, and on the other hand, it opens your mind. Freedom. Opposites, right? You have on one end the Torah, you have the hiyuv, you have the action, the obligation, but then it brings clarity. The clarity is for you to be able to progress, right? The obligation, lechara, is what? Is to focus on an action that's limited. So we see that the Torah, we see in the Torah that you have those two dimensions that are opposites. But that's the emet. Why? The Chachamim tell us what is emet. Emet is when you can start from the aleph and get all the way to the taf, right? The first letter is aleph of the alphabet, the middle letter is the mem, and the last letter is the taf. The emet is when your starting point is so true that it can survive until the taf. If you cannot get to the taf, it's not emet. It's not emet. The Torah, and that's the yayin. The yayin is what? Look at the sod of the yayin. Is yud, nun, right? Yud, Nun. You have the two Yudim are the two Bhinot of the, right? Is what it does as the from an action perspective, and what it does from a clarity perspective. What it does to satisfy you, and what it does to open you. The two unit, right? To each their own. But together bring. That's when the emet happens. You cannot have one without the, and that's the Nun. That's the Nun. That's the two Yudim together. That makes the Nun. The Torah cannot have only, you cannot take the clarity of the Torah without the obligation of the Torah. And you cannot do the actions without implementing it in your dat and have clarity from it. The emet of the Torah is when you have both together. וחיקר כינתו הולך לדודי למשרים דובב שפתי ישנים. This wine has two ma'alot. It does two things. It's good. הולך לדודי, right? It goes to my beloved one. למשרים, in the path of good, forward. Dovev, okay, but it's also found on the lips of Siftei Yeshenim, of the old ones. You find again these two elements, right? So the Gaon comes, and now we can explain it a little bit. Can explain to Gaon. So these are the two Bhinot of Tzaddikim. You have the Tzaddik in this world, and then you have the Tzaddik in Olam Haba. Okay. Going that tells your Torah is so powerful that not only the tzaddikim in this world, they say it, lemesharim, to satisfy them and to bring them forward and grow your tzaddikim, but it's still on the mouth of the old ones, meaning who are the old ones? The people that left this world. In Olam Haba, their Torah, the taste of the Torah is still living. It's still living. It's still living. And this happens why? Because of those two Bhinot. Because of the Bhina of the action. Right? The Hiyuv, the obligation of the action is where? In this world. This is the Tzaddikim Ba'olam Hazeh. But the clarity, when do you get it, Be'emet? In Olam Haba. That's the tzaddikim be'olam haba. So the way you learn your Torah in this world, right, will or give you Olam Hazeh, or give you Olam Haba, or give you both. It all depends on how you learn the Torah. So come the Goyim. He says these are these two Bhinot. One you get it from Torah Shebichtav, and the other one you get it from Torah Shebichtav. Torah Shebichtav, you get Chok. Right? What you do, what you don't do. Torah Shebe'al Peh, you get the clarity. Yeah, I understand also why is that, because they got the Choshech, Asara B'Tevet, the Maseret Sofrim. פרק א', משנה זין, 5 תלמידי חכמים, כן? בו ביום, בח' בטבת, 5 חכמים were brought to translate the Torah. וקשה היה אותו היום כמעשה עגל. It was as difficult to Am Yisrael. They translated the Torah to Talmai. So that day was as difficult to Israel like the day of Ma'asegel, of Egel Hazav. Why? Shelo nittargema kol tzorka. That the Torah was not translated the way it's supposed to.
Because it's not meant to be translated.
to see that it could be, it's okay to be translated. If you say tefillah translated, it's okay. You learn Torah translated, it's okay. You make a bracha translated, it's okay.
So what's the problem with it?
Oh. It's like when you translate the Torah, you lose the bi-dimension that we just spoke about. Now it becomes a text. And for a person to learn the Torah in a translated version, it's extremely difficult to go back to the Bhina of Emet, to find the Emet in it. The translation by default
It's diluted.
Is diluted. So you cannot, it's extremely difficult to find the emet in that version of the Torah. Exactly like the Egel. The chet of the Egel is that we lost the clarity of the Torah. Like it's brought in Eliyahu Zuta, Perik Dalet. Eliyahu Navi Zachmor Letov, he says, because of the chet Egel, we lost the clarity of the Torah. And now, we from that point on, we will learn Torah, mitoch dochak, sa'a, oni, mitoch she'en lahem mezonot. The Torah now has to be learned betzimtzum, in a very tough way. It's hard to learn Torah. We lost the clarity. We lost that Bhina of Emet. We lost that Bhina of Emet. This is the Yenatov. This is what the Goyim at the end, they say, when we are able to learn your Torah, your mouth, Yenatov is like this beautiful one. Your mouth is like this beautiful wine. It keeps on going, but it stays with the old. It's on the lips of the elder ones. If we're able to understand these two dimensions, that when we learn Torah, there's the aspect of the action, of the hiyuv. Hashem says mutar and asur. It's an obligation on one end. And then there is the aspect of the clarity, the revelation of the clarity, the kavanah. You have the mitzvah, you have the asi, you have the derech, and you have the orach. You have the maaseh, and you have the kavanah. It's only together that a person can be tzaddik and benefit olam hazeh and can benefit olam haba. So we are Yud according to the Gaon. Well, maybe 1 second, just so that we finish according to the Bible. Okay. Vechiker, he says, what is the vechiker, your mouth? He says, Dibur apnimi bechokhma. He says, when a person speaks, the Malbim says, the koach dibur, the dibur is something that is very holy. The speech is very holy. We know, yeah. The creation revolves around the dibur, around the medaber. The whole creation revolves around it. So says Shlomo Amelech, your mouth can speak diburim of chokhmah, of ruach hakodesh, of nevuah. That's what the neshama tells the body. Can your mouth just do that and say only that? If you agree, says the neshama, I'll come back in. according to the Rabbi. If your mouth doesn't, say, well, I just said. I just said. That it shows you where we are today. I just said. But the neshama tells the body, if you are willing to comply to everything you've praised me with until now, and only serve your mouth to divrei chokhmah, to divrei Torah, and like we said in the pasuk before, that your emotions, your instinct have to be aligned with the Torah, have to be aligned with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no tilt. I am willing to come back. The neshama says. The nefesh says, Olech ledodi lemesharim. I can't. I cannot. Olech ledodi lemesharim. אני הולך לדודי העליון, ואשוב אל מעוני בשמיים. דובב שפתי ישנים. The body accepts דובב שפתי ישנים. The lips are the lips of the sleeping one. The body lets go. And the neshama at that point is ready to leave the body. Khalas. There's an agreement, an acknowledgement between the body and the neshama.
Going our separate ways.
That's it. That's
scary.
You tried to convince me. After all this, I said yes, but you recognize that you can't. So now the body, at peace, accepts that it's the end. That is the end. This will be the last time the neshama and the guf together coexist and interact. And from we'll see that from that point on, it's a different level of interaction between the body and the neshama in a transition of going to Olam Haba.
But there's still interaction between the group and the
We're going to see. We're going different here. There's still an attachment, right? He's still holding to the super social aspect of the body to try to say, okay, I'll reconnect, I'll reboot the system.
Was this written in the last 30 days of his life?
We said that in the beginning of the track, right? It depends who you ask.
All right.
It depends who you ask. But Lav Davka, it's maybe. But it's not, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. According to the Malbim, it's Kacha Nishma, yeah. It sounds like he's
Sounds like a Ruach HaKodesh about what's happening.
What's happening or what's about to happen to him. And he's it's like an out body experience of what he's about to encounter. That's Pasuk Yud. Ezrat Hashem.
Nice.